Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on my video. Today I will be talking about one side of an argument that I find particularly interesting. As you know, there are several large topics that are always being debated, such as gun control, abortion, animal testing, etc. But one argument or topic in particular that I find interesting is climate change. Before we get into it, one important thing to know is that climate change, or the argument around climate change, is not actually about whether or not climate change exists. It's about whether or not climate change is an issue. So I will be informing you guys about the denier side of the argument, so the argument that climate change is not an issue. I'll be providing you guys with information that I have found on the internet by doing research. One thing I noticed while doing this research was that it was very difficult to actually find the information I needed. Several of the articles that I read, they didn't have strong evidence. Some of them were just based on opinions. There was no facts or evidence to back up their opinions, which is okay. Opinion articles are great. And I also noticed that there was a lot of misinformation out there, but some articles that I did find were on the Wall Street Journal website, the Conversation website, and the Unheard website, which are all pretty well-known, reputable websites. I'll be starting off with the arguments that I found on the Wall Street Journal website. So obviously these scientists, or this author believes that climate change is not an issue we need to worry about. One of their arguments is that it is said that many scientists, like all scientists, basically agree that climate change is an issue that's kind of pushed onto us. But when they were doing research, they actually found several scientists who didn't agree with climate change being an issue. One of those reputable scientists was Ivan G. Ivor. He left the American Physical Society, which is a group of physicists that work on physics, He left for this reason, but this statement that they made, he didn't agree with it, and I quote, "The evidence is incontrovertible. Global warming is occurring. If no mitigating actions are taken, significant disruptions in the Earth's physical and ecological systems, security, and human health are likely to occur. We must reduce emissions of greenhouse gases beginning now." Finish quote. So basically, he felt so strongly about the statement, he disagreed so strongly with the statement that he actually left the Society of Physicists. Another argument that they provided was that there's actually no strong evidence found that climate change is an issue. They believe that a lot of the fear behind it is because of the predictions that were made, not stuff that's actually come into play yet. They pointed out that in the last 10 years, there actually hasn't been the global warming that they said would happen. And they say this is due to the old computer models that they used, and that therefore the information is inaccurate. They also argue that CO2 is good for the environment, which it is well known that CO2 is good for the environment. CO2 is used in plants to make food, and then those plants therefore turn that food into oxygen for us to breathe, and so with more CO2, there would be more plants, and therefore there would be more oxygen and a cleaner environment for us. Going into the conversations argument, they provided information on common arguments that are found. They didn't really state their opinion one way or another. They also said that many people believe that scientists fix the data and that it is inaccurate, and they do this on purpose in order to sway the political and industrial environment that we live in, basically to make money. They also believe that climate change is good for the environment. It improves farming production, so it improves like the harvest that we have, and therefore it actually helps solve hunger problems. And they said that if climate change actually is an issue, it'd be too expensive to fix because it would cause, in order to fix it, our economy would have to change greatly, our society in general would have to change. They also pointed out that more people die from the cold than from the heat, so therefore it would be better to have warmer winters, so if climate change is occurring, it would be good. And they said another reason why they said we shouldn't change is because if our country decided to change like our CO2 productions or whatever, it wouldn't matter because other countries aren't changing either. So it would not actually have an effect. The Unheard website uses relativity. I found this one particularly interesting because they use relativity to other problems. They said that compared to other issues that we face today, it won't actually kill as many as we believe. So climate change is estimated to cause about 1.5 million deaths every year. This is just an estimate, a prediction of what's going to happen, not what happens today. But what currently happens today is that obesity kills 2.8 million people every year, traffic accidents kill 1.25 million every year, and smoking kills 8 million every year. So this is a very good point, is that they pointed out that in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that big of a deal. And they also pointed out that it's inaccurate data that they have. So as I read these 3 articles, a common theme I found is that mostly all of them agreed that the data that we are provided with today is all wrong, that scientists fix it, and that climate change actually could be seen as a good thing for the environment. As a recap, I would like to point out that it was very difficult for me to find this information. The valid ones that I found were based on both opinion and fact, not just the opinion like the original ones I had. I would also like to state that I do not agree personally with the deniers. Yeah, I hope you guys learned something. Thanks for watching.